This map first impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Grizzly Mountain. This is more of a second impressions because I did a map video on this way back in, I think it was early December when the map was version 1.1. It was at that time released over at the FDR logging website, but now it is in the mod hub. It is now version 1.2.0.1, and there are some significant changes. So I decided it was time to do another video. This map is released now for all platforms, PC and console. Let me read you a little bit of the description. It says, Grizzly Mountain is a forestry map with basic farming capability. Added in version 1.2.0.1 is adjusted some tree rendering, moved the starting location to the cabin, added gravel parking spot at cabin. He also has added, since I last looked at the map, an animal buy point, a wool and cotton sell point, as well as a grain sell point, and and a bale sell point. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. Pull up the log. See, the map is loading up error free. There we go. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the PDA. Come on out here, and you can see that we start here at Old Bill's cabin. And if we take a look at the lands section, see that we own this whole section down here in the lower southern portion of the map. It has a value of $178,000. Land overall is fairly cheap. Like, for example, we can own the entire west side of the map for $197,000. Own the northern section and a big chunk of the eastern section for $152,000. $33,000. Own the Marsh, the entire Marsh area, for $76,000. Start out with a fair bit of property, and this is down here where we have the spinnery, which is obviously our sell point for wool and cotton. We have ranch, which is the sell point for our grains. We have the animal dealer and the barn down here. These items did not exist in version 1.1 that I did my mod video on. In fact, in that video, you start over here at the store. That is your career start point. And the only sell point on the map was the sawmill, which bought logs and maybe wood chips. Might have just been logs only. We'll take a look at that when we get over there. You can see we have our standard crops here on the map, so we can clear out these areas, create some fields, and plant crops, because we will be able to now sell them. See, we have one main sell point on the map. We could obviously increase this with the abundance of placeable sell points now that exist, and that one sell point will accept all of our crops, including our eggs and milk. The spinnery will accept our cotton and wool. We do have a wood chip sell point, and then the barn will take our silage, hay straw, and grass. So as far as starting equipment goes, we start with just 2 items in new farmer mode. We have the Man TGX 26.640 log truck, and then we've got our Lizard pickup truck. Now, in farm manager mode and new farmer mode, we basically start with just the pickup truck and no land. So I'm not really going to bother in jumping into all 3 modes, because the only difference between farm manager, new farmer, start from scratch, is 1, the dollar values in your bank account. 2, New Farmer starts with that southern portion, whereas the other two modes do not start with any land. And you don't start with the man truck in any mode other than New Farmer mode, but you do start with pickup truck, which is just over here. Here is our pickup truck. Now, something else I noticed is you'll see that scattered around, at least this area, there are sections of the forest that have these tree markers on them. I think that is marking a trail or something else. I'm not really sure, but we should keep our eye out for other such markers. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. Go ahead and lease this. Tab into that. Let's take a look around the shop. So this is the shop. We just have a couple open air shelters that basically resembles our shop. Our purchase trigger. Customize and return trigger is around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it again. It's over here. Here's where we're going to go to when we are going to sell or customize any of our equipment. And then here is the man log truck that we get as part of our standard equipment on New Farmer mode. And then over the bridge is the sawmill. Let's jump in here and head on over to the sawmill, because the sawmill's got a little bit of a trick to it. Of course, we've got our wood chip sell point right here. Let's dump our wood chips in there. But our log sell point is right here, and it is a tricky one. You'll see the zone markers basically require you to place the logs into these log racks, and that is how you sell them. So if we look at the trigger here, okay, the trigger doesn't start until right here, and it extends beyond the log racks. But basically, you're not going to be able to pull up a log trailer right up beside this and sell the logs. You're going to have to unload them onto here. So you're either going to have to use a crane to do that, like that on the man truck, or one of the handy dandy auto loading log trailers that exist if you are on PC. Get those logs over here in order to sell them. Let's go ahead and drive on down to the southern part of the map where we have those new sell points. Take a look at some of the land that we own on the way. Let's see. Well, let's go up here. So, according to the lands, let's take a look at the lands. The lands, we own everything south of this road to the bridge, and then we own things on the southern part of the water, the river there. And we own everything to the left of this road up into the Y section. And this whole thing is $178,000. On the other start modes, we do not start with any equipment. But take a look at the land. Land is fairly cheap on this map. Whole west side is $197,000. Whole north and most of the east side is $152,000. Grizzly Mountain and a big chunk is $62,000. And whoever would want the Marsh, well, that's $76,000 itself. See, we want to own the land on Uncle Bill's cabin. We're going to have to spend 50 grand to buy this big here. Zoom on out here. Try to get a good aerial view of the map. Let's just take a look around. All kinds of trees. All over the place. We're going to go up on top of that mountain here in a little bit And we'll be able to see way around. Be able to see the whole place at that point. Remember, we own everything at the start to the right of this road. Then once we cross the river, we'll own everything on the southern side of the river. Lots of area here. Lots of fairly flat land to carve out your own farm and plow up your own fields. This whole concept of build your own farm, make your own farm, really makes these logging maps an interesting device. You can really come in here, and it is literally like having a blank slate to make the area your own. All you really need is a few, some sell points, and like I said, you can either use in-game sell points or you can put down your own placeable sell points, should you so wish. Going over here because I wanted to show you this area down here, which is where those in-game sell points are located. We have our grain dump here. Sell most of our crops, including our eggs and our milk. And we have the animal dealer here at the white building. Right there's the trigger for that. Loop around here, we've got the barn, which is the sell point for our hay, straw, grass, and silage. And then on our way out, we've got this brick building, which is where we're going to put our cotton and our wool. There you go. So the rest of the map is basically just woods, hills, and roads. Let's go make our way up to the mountain. That is quite the challenging road, if I remember correctly. Definitely clear this out. There's some large boulders. Imagine you could have a field, basically has some large boulders in the middle of it. Take a look at this marsh over here. Pretty much a wasteland. Nothing really usable there as far as farming goes. So look at that. We've got all kinds of cool downed logs, wood debris, and everything scattered around this water. Snapped off and broken tree stumps. Stumps look like they've got a fair bit of algae and stuff growing on them. The fact that we've got these, the birds now that fly around. Be really cool as if the water plane moved up and down when it rained to make this swamp, this marshland, muddy and wet in the event of it raining and stuff. But overall it is pretty slick. I really like the treatment and the details that have gone into this, that whole area. Head on back to the road and just keep following the road around a bit. The way the map is intended is the dark green areas are pretty much, I guess what you would call, well, they're not really areas intended for farming or forestry. I mean, you can basically cut down any tree here on the map you want. But you can see some of these trees are a bit more problematic than others. The areas that are the light green are pretty much the intended forestry zones. And that's where you can pretty much do your forestry should you so wish. See, you're clearing out all of those trees and then making each of those light green zones into fields or putting down buildings there. Getting my recording software for some reason isn't liking the trees. But I'm going to show you my frames. Even though my recording software is a bit glitchy at the moment, Not really sure why. See, I'm getting 60 frames. So let me zoom in. Maybe it's going to be better. The first person. That'll help. Not really sure why it was glitchy like that. But as you can see, you know, my game frames are 60 solid. Zoom out and see if that stays good. I don't know if it was just super dense trees there, but again, my frames were good on the PC. It's just the game capture was not being very happy at the moment. Got some elevation changes there going down to the river. Of course, we've got the out of map boundary on the other side. Feels like you're in a little valley there. Big old lake. And there is the road going up the mountain pass. You have kind of a road diversion point right here. Which way do we go? Do we go left or do we go right? Let's take a look. Well, left will take us up into the mountain and right will take us over to a flat area. So I'm going to go ahead and run up the mountain here, and we'll probably be able to see this area from this mountain road once we get some elevation. This is indeed a very interesting climb up the mountain. Narrow road. It's kind of round in the middle. Get off on either side, you're going to be leaning off the road. White the incline. Let's just go in cab here so you can kind of get a feel for the incline. Got over there. And here's where the road gets, well, it gets a little, you gotta put your big boy pants on here if you want to go over this road. There is, basically we're looking now off over to where that flat area is. Whoa. Hope you didn't get fright there. Look at that. Don't go down, because it's going to be a long tumble. Imagine trying to bring a full log trailer down here. Semi-trailer. Narrow, windy road. Trying to look down over there across the way. Imagine being crazy enough to put your farm up here and having to bring everything up that hillside. Almost made it to the top. And here we are at the top. Nice little landing. Let's hop out and come over here and just take a look around. Oops, there's a pond. Yeah, if you're looking for a map you really are kind of have a blank slate, really just get out here and do your own thing. Take a look at this view. Come in here, I mean, you could spend a long time cutting these trees, selling them all off. I think it's a very well done map. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think of the map. Grizzly Mountain by FDR Logging. Not your traditional farm sim map, but then again, it doesn't have to be your traditional farm sim map with Farm Sim 19's whole build your own farm concept. Just make it how you want it. There's all that flat lowland down there. There is the marsh. And across the way is all of the sell points. Guys, once again, let me know what you think of the map. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. We do map videos typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, this week will be a little special because we do have 4 maps to cover. We'll be injecting a few maps during the off time. And until next time, guys, happy farming.